Yeah, yeah. So we were working together in Santa Fe, and that book, we have explained Ayurvedic herbs and Native Indian American herb, and they have incredible healing power. But we study them through Ayurvedic basic principles of Rasa, Virya, Vipak, and Prabha. And that book is very popular now here.
Mm-hmm.
So, male and female energy, Shiva Shakti, Purush Prakriti, Yin Yang, Ida Pingala, it is there in the plant.
So how evolved is this herbal treatments in among the Navajo people, for example?
Uh-huh.
How evolved is their treatments of herbal
Yeah,
medicines?
these are now people, they do the pestle and mortar and they collect the herb and they grind it and make a decoction, make a juice or make a tea, herbal tea. But they have very spiritual ceremony. And they make a fire ceremony and they bring the herb and they use the herb. So their approach is very spiritual. And along the same line, there is a great spirituality in Ayurveda also.
No, because they are
Atma.
calling their whatever, I don't know, religious or spiritual leaders as medicine men.
Yeah, medicine
So
man.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
understand
Navajo medicine
how far
man.
is the medicine going?
Yeah, in medicine man, they are doing that work. And in a group healing, they are doing also in a tent, they call TB, and they make a fire ceremony. And the medicine man comes, there is a pipe ceremony, they smoke some herbs, and they get intoxicated. It is like peyote, something like that. And it is so spiritual, but then it becomes very square because they don't have the logic how it works. And Ayurveda has a logic, plus Ayurveda has Sattvam, Atma, Sharirancha, both.
No, Ayurveda is from a tropical nation,
Yeah,
tropical land where there are hundreds of herbs.
herbs are
Here
there.
it's a very meager
Limited.
what's
Huh?
available.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I know they have that spiritual side, hallucinogenic side, all that. But in terms of actual medicine, how many herbs are there? Is it reasonably substantial?
And you are right, because in India we have 3,000, more than that. Here maybe a couple of hundred herbs. The herbs here are limited, but we have plenty of herbs. Even Triphala is such a great herb, it cannot grow here. Some herbs there. Triphala is becoming worldwide wonderful herb, and it is the best for balancing Vata. Haritaki controls Vata, Amalaki, Pitta, Bibhidaki, Kapha. So this Triphala itself is a rasayan, and Triphala itself is an antioxidant enzyme. It removes free radical and it gives longevity of life. So it is a rasayanam. So there are that much rasayana herbs may not be here.
No, they're definitely not there.
No.
Except in a tropical nation.
In a tropical nation, right?
It is not available. Even among tropical climates, probably nowhere else there are as many herbs as there are in India, because
Correct. We have
for
plenty
whatever
of
reason, I mean, I have not found a logical or a scientific reason for this, but handful of soil in southern India has over 10,000 species
Wow.
of microbes and other things in a handful of soil.
Amazing.
Nowhere else on the planet it is like that. Why it is like that, what made it that way, I don't think anybody has made a study as to why it is so, but the fact is it is so.
It is so, right.
So, that much microorganism naturally produces that much variety of life. The people have forgotten that how we are is very related to the number of plant life, the variety of plant life there is, variety of animal life, the variety of insect, worm life and microbes that are around us, how rich it is.
Right.
That's how rich our life is, and
Correct.
that's how evolved and complex and sophisticated our life becomes. That's completely forgotten. Everybody is thinking if you eat so much protein, so much vitamin, so much this, everything is going to be okay. Well, you may grow your muscle and be there, but
Correct.
all the subtleties of life may disappear from your life. So, in that context, there is very limited amount of herbs here. But I'm sure traditional people somehow should have managed their health with
Manage
that.
their health, correct, right. Even in Ayurveda, they use a Shrunga Bhasma, the Harina Shrunga Bhasma. And after certain year, the antler drop out, and that Mrugashurunga is used for cardiac complication, for disease like arthritis, rheumatism. So then a thought came, why it is so medicinal? So then they realized that the deer eat weeping willow's bark, weeping willow's leaves. And that weeping willow is the natural source of aspirin. Then they found nowadays they are using aspirin to prevent heart attack. It is a blood thinner, it is an anti-inflammatory. But in Ayurveda, they are using Harinashurunga or Mrugashurunga Bhasma. And we can use Mrugashundra Lepa to the external joint, and that will act as an anti-inflammatory. It will relieve the swelling, pain, and inflammation much under control.
Right now, everywhere videos are going around on the WhatsApp and everything in the social media, that every day if you touch a cow, hug a cow, do this, you will get mental and emotional balance.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that is a special cow about Brahmin cow, which has a hump. And they say that Brahmin cow hump has a Sushumna Nadi that goes to her udder, and that absorbs solar energy. And that ghee prepared out of Indian cow doesn't increase cholesterol, that's the beauty of it. But the Western cow who has a flat back, it is like modified buffalo. Yeah. And they have big udder, and that milk from the Western cow is rich in cholesterol, and person can get heart attack. So the
I would like
Indian
to ask you one thing. Right now in Kerala, people are claiming, and we don't know how much of it is true, but I know some of it is true. People have preserved ghee in the earth. They buried it in the earth and kept it for over 100 years. And it seems this ghee has tremendous healing
Absolutely,
possibilities. Can you say something?
yeah. That is called Shata. Shata means 100 years. Shata Varsha, Shata Samvatsaram Ghritam means the ghee is buried in a clay pot into the soil, 100 years. Because when ghee is staying in the soil for 100 years, that much long time, some molecular changes happen within the ghee. And that ghee is rich in ojas. It is rich in tejas, and it is rich in prana. Because ultimately the pure essence of Vata dosha is prana, pure essence of Pitta is tejas, and Kapha is ojas. And at cellular level, ojas, tejas, prana, they maintain cellular metabolic activity, cellular intelligence, and flow of communication. Prana is a flow of communication. So at cellular level, ojas, tejas, prana, they are operating and enhancing the cellular life. So this 100 years old ghee, Purana Ghritam, is the best medicine for eczema, psoriasis. Even if you take internally, it can heal peptic ulcer, ulcerative colitis, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, many disorders, even autoimmune diseases. This Purana Ghritam is Sreshtam, Ojas Karam Param. So this promotes Ojas.
Is there any parallel in the medical sciences for Tejas and Ojas? Prana, they're beginning to recognize kind of.
Correct. You know, very good question. Prana is your neuroelectrical impulse, your neuroelectricity. But Tejas is nothing but certain kind of amino acid. They work at the level of cell membrane, at the level of RNA, DNA. They are Tejas. And Ojas is the immune system. So, Ojas, Tejas, Prana, these are three important factors. They maintain the life of a single cell. The single cell can live longer. And that's the beauty. But there is no parallel. One thing is there, when liver destroys the old red blood cell, and out of destruction of RBC, the hemoglobin comes out and the heme is separated, and globin part is ojas in the liver. That's why doctor give gamma globulin shot to prevent hepatitis. So that globulin is a very special protein, maybe resembling to the ojas. Tejas is amino acid, liver enzyme, because liver is a seat of 5 Bhutagni. Every ether, air, fire, water, earth has a Agni component. Nabasa Agni, the Agni component of space. Vayavya Agni, the Agni component of air, which really absorb the gaseous exchange happen because of that. Tejo Agni, which is responsible for cellular metabolic activity. And Apo Agni, which maintain plasma serum. And Parthiva Agni is a mineral, calcium, magnesium, zinc. So exactly when we study modern medicine and Ayurveda concurrently and inherently, then we will understand which part is prana, which part is tejas, and which part is ojas.
In the yogic sciences, generally, ojas is seen as a non-physical dimension of energy. If you… because everything physical has come from the non-physical. If you create a cocoon of non-physical dimension of energy, cocoon does not mean like this.
Right.
On the cellular level, every cell has a little bit of non-physical dimension,
Correct.
a wrap around itself. That cell will continuously regenerate itself at a pace that is considered miraculous.
Correct, correct.
Well, your recovery from anything, injury or any ailment will be like that. Above all, first of all, you don't get sick enough to be called sick. Depending on how violently you live.
Right, right.
When I say how violently, see, you're living a nice peaceful life, I live a violent life, I'm on full speed on a motorcycle. So, my life is 7 days of the week, 365 days. There's no day, there's no night. Sometimes it's 24 hours work, other days it's 18, 20 hours of work. It's a violent life. But still I have not cancelled a single event because I am not well. Such a thing has not happened in the last 39 years.
No, what you say, very beautiful.
A certain amount of ojas kind of puts you back always. It doesn't matter. It's not that I have not been unwell, well, I caught flu, I caught this, I caught that many times. But no matter what's happening, I can still continue my activity.
Right.
So, if what you said kind of interests me, that ojas is that kind of energy which is not physical in nature.
Right, right.
But if you are incubated in that always, if every cell is incubated in that always,
Correct.
your recovery or your ability to be beyond what physical things do to you.
Ayurveda says that ojas can be measured on physical level in physical term as ojosar. Then tejas can be measured. Then there is a para ojas and upper ojas. So para is superior. Superior ojas is ashtabindvatmakam param ojam rudhistitaha. So that 8 drop, ashtabindvatakam ojas, the 8 drop of superfine ojas that comes to the heart and that stimulate pacemaker SA node, then it stimulate to the AV node and to the bundle of His. All cardiac activity are governed by that superior ojas. Then inferior ojas is Ardha Anjali, which is half pint, and that is circulating throughout the body to maintain immunological response. But there is a Shakti Roop ojas that become aura. So if you do meditation, you are in samadhi, then that your upper ojas become para ojas become aura. And that halo, that aura is nothing but ojas. But the color of the aura is tejas. And pulsation of aura, vibration of aura is prana. Even at the auric level, ojas, tejas, prana are operating in a subtle Shakti form. But in a physical form, ojas, there is a ojo prakriti. And Ayurveda says the person who is very handsome, dynamic, with attractive eyes and very charming personality, when he comes, there is a whole vibration.
I look like a blind man.
Yeah. So that is called… So you fall into that category. Your prakriti is ojo prakriti. So ojas is a physical thing. Ojas can be psychological thing, which is bliss, joy, happiness, and ojas can be spiritual thing, which is samadhi.
So Ayurveda talks about these aspects, is it?
To some extent. Charak does talk about it.
I've always been so engaged with life, I never had the patience to study anything. I'm just absolutely involved with life inside and life outside.
Correct, correct, right.
So I never sat down and made a study of anything. So you must tell us, sir, you spent a lifetime of study.
I think your whole life is a study. Even you are driving motorbike, still you are observing, you are learning. There is no end to the study, no end to the learning. Learning is at every moment. And that is your humbleness. You said, I have no time, but you are always in that process.
So just now, yesterday night, some journalist was asking me, when you're writing, what are you thinking about? Are you doing this, doing that? I said, not just when I'm writing. At any time, I'm not thinking about anything. Because this whole… this is a European disease that has caught the whole world, it's a pandemic. That people think human thought is more significant than human attention. Human attention, if it is keen enough, intense enough and sustained, it can open any door in the universe.
Absolutely.
Human thought is just a recycling of what you already know. But somewhere our education systems, borrowed from European systems, has inculcated in everybody that your thought is more important than your attention. Attention to Creator's creation is more important than the nonsense that you make up in your head. But everybody thinks you must be thinking something, then only you're an intelligent person. Well, I don't think much.
Great.
That's why my face didn't become long. With age, people, will lose their joy and they become like this, they think they've become serious about it. Well, I think seriousness is the worst ailment. Because it's such a joke that you are here just for a few years. Before you, thousands of years people have lived here.
Correct.
When you're gone, maybe the grass will be grateful because it's getting sustenance from you because you're buried underneath. Otherwise, everybody will forget in a little bit of time and the world will be fine without you.
Correct.
But everybody thinks that they have become so important in this
Right.
universe that they become very serious. Silly little thoughts that they're creating have become bigger than the cosmos. So, I don't know, for me, life is about attention. How keenly attentive you are is how much you know of life. Because everything that needs to be created is already created.
Great.
You just have to be attentive and enjoy the bounty of life that's here.
Absolutely.
But people are trying to make up their own little world. Their idea of a world is one stupid building that they call as home and so much bank balance and 4 wheels parked in front of their house which is shinier than the neighbor's wheels. I mean, this is their idea of creation.
Correct.
When there is a magnificent creation all over. So this creation of my job, my family, my this keeps them busy and away from the Creator's creation, which is the worst thing that can happen to you.
Absolutely.
So Ayurveda, if it has to become the way of the world, not necessarily in the form that it's come from India, it can happen in so many different ways.
Right.
The fundamentals are right, but how it finds expression in different societies could be
Correct,
different.
correct.
If it has to happen, first and foremost thing that needs to happen is that there must be a significance for the creation above your own creation.
Correct, correct.
Till then, I don't think people will take to Ayurveda, everybody is looking for a quick fix of some kind.
Correct. And people are doing integration of Ayurveda and acupuncture, Ayurveda and chiropractic, Ayurveda and naturopath, and Ayurveda and allopath. Because Ayurveda is all inclusive and it doesn't mean that it belongs to India, it can belong to anywhere.
So that's why you're getting me into trouble. When I said I said, if… I spoke in the United Nations and I said, If yoga is Hindu, gravity must be Christian. So, even now the people who think they're more Hindu than me are hitting me every day
Oh, boy.
because they think I gave up yoga. They don't understand if it has to become universal, its identity has to rise.
Right, right, right. You know, when first I came, people think, oh, this is a Hindu medicine. I said, no, no.
It's okay, just
Yeah.
we'll manage.
Ayurveda is not only Hindu medicine, it is for every religion, it is beyond religion.
See, how
Because-
can science be a cultural or a religious
Right,
identity?
that's
It
the
cannot be.
limitation, yeah.
So goes for Ayurveda, so goes for yoga.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless we understand this, then we will keep it cloistered as we have done for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Why Ayurveda has not become the universal system of medicine when it was one of the oldest forms of
Correct,
medicine,
correct.
with such complexity, over 100,000 formulations.
Right,
Even modern pharmacopoeia doesn't have 100,000 formulations.
absolutely, yeah.
But it doesn't become because a constipated approach, we've not stepped out and offered. So yesterday some journalist was asking me, because every day they're on social media asking me all kinds of questions. I was standing next to an antique Coca-Cola vending machine, an old one which is not in use right now. I was in Sedona, and I was telling this person that, see, if you go to any Indian village 10 years ago, everybody had heard the word Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
But most people did not know what is yoga. Indian villages I'm talking about, not Native American, Indian villages. Our kind of India, I'm saying. Why is it? Simply because you're constipated in your approach. If we try to push it, you say, oh, you're marketing. If all our programs are free in the villages, but we charge in the cities, oh, your business. Ray, what's wrong with business, I'm saying? Business means somebody needs something and you decide to provide that to them. And if there is no transaction, you can't keep it going. How long will you keep it going?
correct, right.
It is not about personal profit, it is about making sure the activity is sustainable, isn't it? If I did this first 2.5 years when I thought, after one big experience happened, I wanted to share this. First 2.5 years, I had done business for about 5.5 years by then. First 2.5 years, I spent all my savings and did programs and programs, free programs. Then I ran out of money, then I went through a struggle, what to do, should I collect money, not collect money, because always there's a tradition that, spiritual process, you should not collect money. Then I saw when the fools come to a program without money, they're behaving like they've gone to a cheap cinema. Halfway through they want to get up, go out, smoke and come back. The moment you charge them, they sit there.
Then it has a value.
Yeah. See, the unfortunate reality, they make a commitment, I will be here for these 10 days or whatever. But their word has no value. The moment they pay even 5,000 rupees, they will sit there.
They paid
So
for
whose
it.
problem is it? Yours or mine? Money is not my problem, it's your problem. So now we are trying to change that. It is the most valuable thing should be well marketed.
Correct, right.
Whether it is spirituality, yoga, Ayurveda, Siddha,
Absolutely,
it
yeah.
must be well marketed, presented in a way that people will appreciate and embrace.
Absolutely.
Not in some archaic way that nobody wants to do it. Your idea of spirituality is, nobody should do it. All right? Some weird thing you want to say, that only some yogi who is in some cave in Himalayas only does yoga. Nobody else does it, because you presented it that way.
Correct.
It is very important, it is presented, if it's well presented, you call it marketing. I don't say anything wrong with marketing, it must be marketed.
Right.
If that's a word you like, we will use that word, yes, let's market it well. Let's sell it well. I never think in my mind of selling anything, but now everybody's saying, oh, this is market, this is business. No, I'm particularly consciously using the word sell. Yes, I will sell yoga.
Correct.
It's up to you. They're selling Coca-Cola also, carbon dioxide
Correct,
they're
correct,
selling.
correct.
You want to buy that or you want to buy this, make up your mind because your market is in your head. What can I do? The only place that you go to is a marketplace. Do you go to any other place? Hello? The only place people want to go to is a marketplace, isn't it?
Marketplace, right? Shopping.
Yes. So if that is the only place you go, that is the only place I can also be, unfortunately. But my mind is not market. But I'm okay, whichever way it works in the world, I'm all right with it. Because I live in the times that I live.
Absolutely.
I don't live at another time and be impractical about it. You know, people… Like one day I'm in Chennai, I had to speak in some conference, he's in a hotel, and somebody is driving, and this man is a very civilized driver. He's unfit to be in Chennai, I'm saying. He's driving slowly behind somebody. I said, just stop it. I made him get down, I got into the driver's seat and I did some aggressive driving. Went there because I made this commitment, I will be never late to any event. Then now, after this some terror attacks and things, in every hotel in India, there is a security check at the gate. It's a meaningless nonsense most of the time. They're just thinking the terrorist will get scared. There is just one tiny little barrier gate. If I have bombs loaded in my car, I will drive through the damn gate anyway, all right? That guy doesn't have a gun, that guy is not standing with a bazooka to stop me, nothing. He's just standing with one mirror and one whistle. What is he going to stop a terrorist? Because it's a law, they've all put up two guys there. So one car went and the gate was up and I burst through that because I'm going to be late. They all started whistling. I went and parked there, got out of the car, ran into the hotel. I was there on time, I finished my conference and I came out after an hour. Some journalists were there when I ran in. The way I blasted into I entered the portico maybe at 50–60 kilometers per hour. Then when I came out, this guy is asking, in ancient times, yogis used to walk. You drive your own car, what kind of a yogi are you? Then I said, you idiot, in ancient times everybody was walking, not just yogis. I'm saying you have this kind of things, if I must come walking, I must from Coimbatore to Chennai, if I come walking, I become a yogi. No, I become a walker.
Yeah.
I mean, these kind of restrictions we put on ourselves and not reaching valuable sciences to the world, and we're losing it.
Losing it, yeah.
It's
Beautiful.
time Ayurveda, yoga, all these very precious sciences must reach the maximum number of people.
Correct.
It's a very good thing that our Prime Minister pushed for it and now International Yoga Day has been declared. It is not going to achieve everything that we want, but at least it's in the consciousness of the world that yoga is legal.
Absolutely. In this group, Ayur Prana, Mitesh Bhai, come on, yeah, and Sneha Ben, they have so much dedication, so much love, and they think like you. They think that we should bring Ayurveda to the front so that the whole world will listen to it. So this is quite a work. It's a big teamwork, and as you say, this is an inspiration coming from your heart, and they are already doing this work. Thank you. Give them big hand. It's amazing.
It's good. Is New Mexico made marijuana legal? Not yet?
I have no idea. Is it?
No.
No, not yet.
So I'm saying marijuana, alcohol became legal, marijuana became legal, cocaine will become legal. Time we make yoga and Ayurveda legal. Thank you, sir. I don't want to take too much of your time.
Thank you.